Good evening, everyone. My name is Mahmoud Faisal Elkhatib. I'm with Better Informed Housing. I have with me Ms. Carol Mers. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about the opportunity to speak to everyone.
And we're also on Facebook Live here, so for all your Facebook Live people, hello.
Hey.
Ms. Mers here, Carol, is, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. We've known each other for a little while now. So Ms. Mers is with Chicago Title and Trust Company. So we're here to talk about kind of some of the opportunities and things that are available for real estate sales professionals and real estate sales brokers to help them really market themselves in real estate. That includes getting clients, getting listings, and also some of the things can translate over to other attorneys or people who are in the real estate professional looking to get more business and more clients. So, Carol, tell us a little bit about what you do at Chicago Title and kind of what your role is there.
Well, at Chicago Title, I'm an account rep, and so that means I work with anyone that does business in the real estate industry and would purchase, or sell properties. So that means I work with real estate attorneys,
Okay.
Lenders, and also real estate professionals. And so in my position as an account rep, I look for ways to help each party to these transactions grow their business because
Okay.
it's healthy for the market, it's healthy for everyone involved.
Now, we are live, so if you want to make any calls, you can reach us at 312, the number at the bottom of your screen. And for those on Facebook Live, our number here is 312-738-1060. Again, that's 312-738-1060. So, Carol, just really quickly, what does the title company do and what's their role, and why are they wanting to connect with real estate sales professionals?
So our role is, in a normal transaction, someone wants to sell a piece of property, whether it's a residential piece of property or a commercial piece of property, and they go under contract with a buyer. Once they've consummated that contract and they have attorneys representing them, what will happen is the seller of the property needs to get title insurance, and title insurance shows that the party owns the property and shows the status of the property, whether there are liens on the property, whether they have a mortgage on the property, if the
Okay.
real estate tax has been paid. So really, it's necessary for the transaction so that the purchaser knows what the status of the property is that they're purchasing, and that the party selling is actually the party in title.
Perfect. So that way when the buyer gets the property, they know for sure that they're getting a property that is relatively free and clear from anything that the owner may have done or may be outside, and make sure all the water bills are paid.
Right.
So make sure there's no liens, make sure all the mortgages are paid off at closing. And so if I'm understanding, the title company really acts as that, providing the insurance and that in-between party that collects all the documents from everybody,
Correct.
collects the money from everybody, and then distributes it out to everybody who needs to get paid in order so that way at the end the buyer gets relatively clean title.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So now that we've got that, so connecting with real estate sales professionals, and so we've talked about this before, that there are title companies out there, and really Chicago Title has a national presence.
Correct.
Illinois is the only state that really, one of the only states that really requires attorneys or has attorneys involved within the purchase and sale process. So as a result, Chicago Title has some, and some other title companies as well, can provide assistance to real estate sales professionals to get more clients. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, first of all, what you were saying is absolutely accurate. So nationally, in the real estate industry, most states are escrow states. Attorneys are not involved in the transactions. Only the real estate professionals are, and the parties purchasing and selling the property. In Illinois, it's an attorney-driven state, so that means that parties in Illinois are represented by attorneys.
Surprise, surprise, attorneys in Illinois want to put their finger in the deal. So question for you. Who does all the deed and the documents at closing? Is that prepared by the title company out of state, or is that prepared by, who prepares that if there's no attorney?
Well, it would depend on the state, but typically the escrow agent prepares the documentation.
Oh, okay.
Escrow agents in Illinois cannot do that because it's considered practicing law. So the attorneys are necessary to to actually prepare the documents in Illinois. But what you were talking to a moment ago is because nationally title companies help and assist the realtor in bringing the business into the title companies, they've developed tools and resources.
Realtors and realtists.
I'm sorry, realtors.
Real estate sales
Real estate,
professionals.
right, I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
apologize. So our focus nationally is to assist the real estate professional in generating more business. If we
Okay.
can make them healthier, they make the industry healthier, there's more business for everybody.
Gotcha.
Because each transaction starts really with the real estate professional.
So we've got you brought us a little bit of a brochure here that essentially talks about wanting to get more listings. And so tell me a little bit about what does this mean? Like, what is this type of tool that title companies can offer or that have available?
Okay, so for the real estate professional, they want more listings. That's how they generate business. So we would like to help the real estate professional in getting more listings. And how do you do that? They have to somehow identify the leads to get the listings. So we have a lead generating resource that can drill down for the real estate professional in a particular area to those properties that would be the most ripe for harvesting for a potential listing. And this particular flyer speaks to the fact that if a real estate professional wanted to target a particular neighborhood or city or zip code, or even identify by drawing on a map, a lead locating service could then drill down even further. So let's say the real estate professional wants to target empty nesters. So the lead locating resource can then identify by income level, by age of the owners, and by size of the property they own that they might be at that stage where they're going to size down.
Well, that's pretty powerful. So looking at this, essentially, just pointing out to help people out. So essentially, you can actually go by a certain area,
Yep.
right? A certain neighborhood that you want to do listings that fall into a certain price range or income bracket or a locale based on where you're located, if that's kind of the area for the real estate sales professional. And then you can actually drill down to figure out what list pendants have been filed, what probate cases, bankruptcies, affidavits of death,
Divorces.
or empty nesters, divorces, tax defaults. So essentially,
Correct.
based on that, you can identify. So why would a real estate sales professional really want to target in on that piece?
Well, it has been determined that properties that are going through any of these types of proceedings, like a bankruptcy or divorce, or there's been a probate, 22% of those properties actually go to sale. So if you identify those properties, the real estate professional knows that if they actually call on or send a mailing to that location, that they have a good chance of procuring a listing.
So this is kind of like, instead of having a totally cold lead and you're blanket mailing a neighborhood or an area or whatever, you're actually targeting a specific demographic that is in a situation of, I don't want to say distress, but is in a prime situation that would lead to possibly the sale of the property.
Right.
So they're looking at that. These are people who may be actively looking for someone to help them sell their home that we can provide them assistance with. Is that?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so now we've got leads for that. So then now we've got them. So the next piece I think we talked about, which you brought in, which I think was also pretty powerful, was contact info. Right?
So the first type of lead generating source was to identify the actual property, so you would get a property address. You can drill down even further if you'd like other contact information, for instance, the phone number or email address.
So you can get the phones and emails and then multiple inquiries. Oh, wow. Fair. And also kind of same to the last place, you got that location of area that you're doing, the type of contacts you're looking for, and their phones and emails. Now, I guess the question is, now that you've got phone numbers and emails and addresses, this opens up the door to actually contacting them. So you're sending a postcard or some sort of
Right.
mailer for them to read. And we talked about a little bit on there, which is direct mail seems to be a huge thing where most, 98, I think the statistics you showed, it was 98% of people check their mail.
Correct.
Right? And then in this case, from those, there's usually about a 2 to 4% response rate. Right?
Right.
And I'll throw this out there so people can kind of see what we're looking at. And we're going to zoom in a little bit more Can we get even further? There we go. So since you were talking about 98% of people check their mail, 2 to 4% are actually responding, and then you're getting a 15% capture of that 2% over a 12-month period. Did I get that? Is that
Well,
accurate?
not 15%, it's 15% overall. So captive rate as high as 15% cumulative over 12 months.
I see.
So if each mailing, you're getting 2 to 4%. If you do it for a period of time, for instance, 12 months, you're going to get more and more.
So if you do a mailing every other month, the
Right.
likelihood is you're going to get a 50% capture rate over all the people that you sent it
Correct.
out to. Very cool. So now, so essentially what we're talking about, if I'm understanding this, well, first of all, let me let everybody know who we are, right? So just for everybody knows, we are, I love these overheads. They never work the way I wanted to. And just for the people who are on Facebook Live, so this is what we're talking about. I don't know if you can read this or if it's backwards, but this is essentially the flyer. So do you want listings? Wait, wrong one. Flip it that way. So do you want listings and how to get listings and targeting people? Let people watch me here. Oh, we're good. And then actually getting phone numbers for those listings and that contact information so that way you can get your listings and help connect with individuals who are looking to sell properties. So really quick, we are Better Informed Housing Corporation. We're an Illinois not-for-profit organization. We provide education information to communities about real estate. For more information about Chicago Title, or to reach Carol or myself, to learn more about some of the things that we're offering, you can call 312-533-2688 or email us at neighbors@betterinformed.org. Now I'm going to throw this. I know everybody can see it. I got to give it to the Facebook Live people. Hopefully you guys can read this and it's not looking up backwards because it looks backwards from when I'm looking at the screen. But Better Informed Housing, you can call us at 312-533-2688. Again, neighbors@betterinformed.org. Better Informed Housing Corporation is an Illinois not-for-profit. So that's a lot of information I just threw in one spot. But so we're talking about, again, real estate professionals and how to help them drive more business. Now, driving more business means, what does that really mean for a real estate sales professional, Carol?
Well, driving more business would mean when a real estate professional wants to identify warm leads, right, as we
Okay.
spoke about, and if they can get more listings, then they get more sales, and if they get more sales, they get more business, and then the attorneys they work with get more business, and then the title companies that the attorneys work with get more business. It really is a way to grow the whole real estate industry. I mean,
Fantastic. And gives them a place to go and where to land and what they're looking for. So, what other things should we be, I mean, we've got a lot, we just put a lot of information on for them. Is there anything more that we can kind of help them out with in terms of figuring out what to, we talked a little bit about some of these mailers pieces, right?
Right.
So the idea of the mailer, and I guess from what I understanding is to help the broker understand that when you're going in, you're going to be, first of all, you've identified the location. Right, so the areas that you want to target, then you've identified the specific categories of entities or persons who are in more immediate need of representation to sell and get rid of their property. So for probate, clearly the individuals have passed away and their families don't want the property, or there's no heirs to take on the property, so that's a probate situation. Right. Family law, you've got husband and wife are divorcing, there's a divorce, it's a horrible, horrible circumstance. Although it's capturing 50% of the population is divorced or getting divorced. So it's a reality of life. And so, but they would want to sell their property, how to sell their property. I think the other, I'm trying to remember all the different ones that we
probate, divorce, bankruptcy.
Bankruptcies. People who are selling their houses because they can't afford to be in them anymore and they're underwater, and those are short sales, which.
So the whole idea about working with a lead generating resource like this is to identify these properties before they get listed, right?
Oh wow!
And
okay.
so these properties, it indicated in one of the flyers that in an area that they were targeting, it was in San Diego, a large percentage of the homes that actually got listed, I think it was
284 leads.
Right. Out of the 1,252 new MLS listings, 284 of those could have been identified prior to those listings.
Oh, wow. That's actually phenomenal. So essentially, 1,200 MS listings took place in April for that area, and of
Right.
those 1,200 listings, 284 came out of, would have popped up on this scenario.
Right.
Which is amazing, because now what you've got is you've got people who actually, you know for sure that they want to list their properties. And so the idea is to hit them before they've even been spoken to, before they've talked to any agents, before they talk to any brokers. This gives you an opportunity to get into a first line position, essentially. So now they know who
Exactly.
you are. So then I guess the beautiful thing is this really isn't just sending one mailer out and you're done, right?
Right.
So we're talking about, you send out the mailer, and then now you've got the phone number and the email. So you follow up with a phone call or a text or an email with what you're offering or what services can be provided. And I guess the language of that email is important. So does the title company help with those types of things, or should I be looking for a title company that can help the broker?
So the title companies are recognizing that the relationships with the real estate professionals are essential, actually the nucleus of the transactions. So we absolutely want to work directly with the real estate professional and whatever attorneys they work with
Okay.
for the real estate closings to help them identify areas to target and to help them with the other aspects of once they get the leads. The mailers, we would work with to create specific mailers that are appropriate
Okay.
for that real estate
So
professional.
the design of the mailer, the
design-
content of the mailer, the language
Correct.
in the mailer, that's one of the things that the title company can, and yours also
Yeah,
provides
let's do
that
that.
service. So in general, title companies who are doing this should be assisting and helping and getting that done.
Absolutely. The title companies are very interested in helping the real estate professional generate more business. With regard to the mailers that the vendors, some of the vendors out there, the better vendors, the level of mailers is a tier higher than most of the vendors out there. The vendor that I'm familiar with will actually on their mailer, the mailer is directed to the property owner of the piece of property it's going to. It has their house on the front. It shows other listings and sales that had gone on the area. It has a call to action on the front of it. It gives a key code, and the property owner is told that if they go to the website, and that would be directing the property homeowner back to the website of the real estate
So
professional.
cool. So the way this works, this is kind of an example of what that printed mailer would look like, right?
Right.
So this is something that if you're going to partner with a title company or assist title companies, or title companies can assist with,
Right.
these are the type of things that they should be looking for
Yes.
from other title companies, right?
Right.
Or from whoever they're working with to help them market the business. So in here, essentially, we've got the address of the property, right? I don't know
Yep.
if you can see that it's a little red little dot there, little red house, kind of looks like a Monopoly house. I remember you would use that as
Yeah.
let me see if I can zoom in here. There we go. So, and then it tracks it. So this way now we've got this, but then you can actually track it to the next. So you've got a little bit of the agent or whoever the sponsor's information there, and then
Right.
some information about what to look for. And then it creates, then you've generated now this is a fake person, right? So it's
Right.
not a real person
Right.
here. But the idea is that the mailer will drive to a landing page for people to go and log in. So now you can actually directly track how many people actually looked at the mailer and wanted more information.
Right, so these become not just warm leads, but hot leads. So the real estate professional finds out which property owners went to the site to look at what the property value is. So you know they're interested in either selling their house or maybe refinancing. So the real estate professional certainly could work with a mortgage lender in these mailers, or they could also work with an attorney on these mailers.
And then there's there's a system that actually allows you to track how those leads are generated from the landing site into generating leads and to go after them. So if I got this, right? So first we're drilling down to finding
property owners.
The property owners. And then we're drilling down to find out how to contact those property owners.
Yep.
And everybody, if you remember, you can call us directly. This is live, 312-738-1060. And you guys on Facebook can call us too at 312-738-1060. Better Informed Housing. So, really quick wrap down. So we've got essentially, we're drilling down to find out what properties are in some sort of immediacy of sale, correct?
Correct.
Then the next piece, we're getting their phone number and email addresses in addition to the property address, which
Right.
then allows us to mail out a direct mailer to them
Right.
at least once a quarter or something, right? And then following that up with an email, text message, or phone call, right?
Right.
So now, then once they get the mailer, they've heard from us, they've spoken to us, and then they can go to a landing page on a website. So that way now that turns into a hot lead.
Correct.
Now that we've got a hot lead, we can now drive that into becoming a listing or a client and serving their needs, whatever those needs may be. Did I get that right?
You got it. Absolutely. That was beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And if you tie in, if you've got their emails, you can tie that into some sort of mass email or some sort of directed email listing, so that way people know information about what they might be looking for particularly. So if you've got, for example, a bunch of leads that are in divorce, right? So you got a bunch of properties that are in the divorce court of some sort, you can actually send a targeted email
Yeah.
that talks about what to expect when selling your property if you're in a divorce, right? So now it
Right.
becomes an educational component and a piece to that. So,
And you're getting that information before while they're in the proceedings, so they haven't even gotten to the point where they're reaching out to connect with anyone.
Gotcha. So you're
getting them
early
ahead-
on.
Right, one step ahead of the process.
that's fantastic. So, and the beautiful part is, I mean, that additional piece of, out of 1,200 possible leads, 284 of them were actually results that popped up out of the list that you
Right,
passed
the
around,
lead.
right? The lead generator list.
So almost 25%.
Wow. Now, to get to that 25%, I want to make sure that people's expectations there must have been at least, what is it, a 2% return? So it must have been at least 1,000, or what would it be, 10,000? Did I get my numbers
Don't
right?
ask me to do the math.
We got to do the math here. Anybody want to do the math, help us out. Just Facebook us or whatever, the math on that. But we're reverse calculating 2% from 300. I think that's, I believe
leaving it to you.
I think it's like 3,000 would be 10%. I think that's 10,000. I think we'd have to send out 10,000 mailers to get to that 284, but that's over the course of 1 year, right?
So yeah, the whole idea is that people do mailers, the direct mailing marketing, and the whole idea is if you can identify addresses that you're going to get more responses from and that are more realistically going to result in a listing, then your money is better invested rather than the old way of just targeting a particular area and mass mailing to every address.
Right, because if you're hitting every single address, you're probably spending 100,000 mailers,
Right.
as opposed to just the 10,000 mailers or whatever the number that you have to send out.
This is more cost effective, absolutely.
Gotcha. And you're probably getting more of a warmer lead if you're hitting them multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they're seeing, okay, I got to call this person because I have this problem. And you're addressing specifically the problem that they're coming up with. So I've got a divorce, I've got a probate, I've got a bankruptcy, I've got these things that are popping up, and I'm getting a direct mailer that's speaking to the issue that I have at hand.
Right.
So I would judge just from anecdotally that would increase my response rate. So, Carol, thank you very much for coming
Thanks
this
for having
evening.
me.
I really appreciate having you here. Facebook Live people, thank you for watching. People live on TV, thank you for watching. You can't call anymore because we're going to be off the air in a minute. But I do want to go out there and let everybody know how to reach us. If you have any questions and you want to learn more about this or know more about these options that you have available and how to drive more business in real estate to help you do more, make more, which then drives more into the community. Here's the overhead. You can call us and contact us. Oh, that's too far. One day I'll figure out how these things work. Better Informed Housing Corporation, Illinois not-for-profit organization. We're providing education and information to communities about real estate. You can call us at 312-533-2688, neighbors at betterinformed.org, or you can reach us on our website at www.betterinformed.org. Thank you all for joining us. I am on UCamming. Thank you all, and we wish you a wonderful night. My name is Mahmoud Faisal Elkhatib, and I'm with Better Informed Housing, and this is Carol Mers with Chicago Title and Trust Company. Thanks for signing in.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me.
Bye, guys.